What if one of the most honest portrayals of young love didn't come from a teen drama, but from a blue cartoon cat and a shape-shifting peanut? In a world of fast relationships, awkward crushes, and confusing emotions, the Amazing World of Gumball did something most shows never dared. It showed us love, not as perfect, not as polished, but as raw, awkward, beautiful becoming. Gumball and Penny weren't just cute, they were real. Today, we're diving into what their story reveals about being young, being in love, and why sometimes the hardest part of love is just being yourself. This isn't just a cartoon love story, this is our story, told through two weird animated souls. We've all been there. That moment in school when your heart skips a beat because they walk by. When you want to say something but your voice cracks. When you try to act normal but your whole body screams awkward. That's what makes Gumball and Penny so powerful. They are that feeling. They don't fall in love in some perfect, polished Disney princess way. They stumble into it. Their love story isn't love at first sight. It's shy glances, nervous laughter, and trying so hard not to look desperate. And yet, it's so genuine. Gumball, for all his sarcasm and chaos, becomes this unsure, soft version of himself around Penny. He overthinks. He freezes. He tries to impress her with big gestures, and they usually backfire in hilarious ways. But we get it. We've done the same. We've tried to be cooler, smarter, funnier, just to get someone to notice us. Penny, too, isn't just the cute crush. She's smart, thoughtful. She has her own fears, especially around being seen for who she truly is. Their story feels like looking in a mirror because it reminds us of a time when just saying "I like you" felt like jumping off a cliff. And that relatability is what makes this more than just a cartoon. It's what makes it real. Let's talk about Gumball. He's loud, confident, always ready with a comeback. But when it comes to Penny, he shuts down. And that's not just for laughs, it's truth. Because expressing love, real, vulnerable feelings, is terrifying. There's that one episode, The Shell, where Gumball finally confesses how he feels. But before that, he chokes, again and again. He tries to say it, he plans the moment, but the words, they don't come. Sound familiar? That's the heart of young love. It's not just having feelings, it's being brave enough to share them. And for Gumball, that's the real battle. Not against monsters or school bullies, but against his own fear. Fear of rejection, fear of messing it up, fear that maybe she won't feel the same. But here's what's powerful. Gumball keeps trying, and that's where so many people connect. Because we've all had a moment where our mouth dried up, our hands got sweaty, and our brains screamed, "Don't say it." But when Gumball does finally speak, he doesn't try to be cool. He's awkward, honest, human. And that's what makes it beautiful. Because young love isn't about perfection. It's about courage. At first, Penny seems simple. She's a peanut, literally, with antlers. Sweet, kind, thoughtful, the classic girl next door of Elmore Junior High. But then, The Shell. In one of the most surprising episodes of the entire show, Penny breaks out of her shell, literally. She transforms into a shape-shifting, glowing, mystical creature. Not because of magic, not because of science, but because she finally stops hiding. And here's what's brilliant. Her shell wasn't just cartoon logic, it was a metaphor for identity, for fear, for all the ways we hide parts of ourselves just to be accepted. Penny had been putting on a version of herself she thought the world wanted. Polished, predictable, easy to understand. But real love? It doesn't grow in hiding, it grows in truth. And Gumball? He doesn't freak out. He doesn't reject her. He embraces her transformation, even though it changes everything. Because when you love someone, you don't just love the shell. You love the messy, weird, wonderful person underneath. Penny's transformation isn't just about shape-shifting. It's about becoming. About being brave enough to say, "This is who I really am. Can you still love me?" That's not just cartoon storytelling. That's real-life vulnerability. And it's one of the most powerful metaphors for love and identity ever put into an animated show. Gumball and Penny didn't start as a couple. They started as friends. Awkward, goofy, sometimes nervous, but friends nonetheless. And that's what makes their relationship feel so earned. Unlike a lot of TV pairings that are forced, rushed, or just thrown together, Gumball and Penny take their time. Their connection builds over seasons, episode by episode, moment by moment. They share lunches, they help each other through problems, they laugh, they mess up, they grow, and slowly something shifts. Suddenly a casual hello feels more important. A shared joke feels electric. A glance in the hallway lingers longer than before. This is what makes young love so universal. That strange, magical moment when someone who was just a friend becomes something more. But it's terrifying too, because when a friendship becomes a crush, the stakes change. You risk what you already have, just to find out if there's something more. Gumball hesitates, Penny waits. They both doubt, they both hope. It's painfully relatable. Because young love isn't always about fireworks and first kisses. Sometimes it's about timing. And sometimes it's about risking the comfort of friendship to discover the magic of connection. One of the hardest parts of young love? Feeling like you're not enough. Gumball constantly doubts himself. He's not the smartest. He's not the strongest. He's weird, emotional, impulsive, and Penny, she hides behind a literal shell, afraid that her real self is too much. Sound familiar? We all carry insecurities into relationships, especially when we're young. Maybe it's your appearance. Maybe it's your awkwardness. Maybe it's just that quiet voice that whispers, "What if they only like the version of me I pretend to be?" But here's the truth Gumball and Penny show us. Love doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be honest. In the shell, Gumball finally says how he feels. And he says it while admitting he's insecure. And Penny reveals her true self, literally transforming into a magical, unpredictable creature. And they still choose each other. It's not smooth, it's not flawless, but it's real. And that's the point. In young love, and in any love, the bravest thing you can do is stop hiding. To say, "Here I am, all of me, and I hope you'll stay." Gumball and Penny didn't fall in love with perfection. They fell in love with truth. Let's rewind to one of the most powerful moments in the entire series, Gumball's confession. In the shell, he doesn't just say, "I love you." He says, "I don't just like a part of you. I like all of you." It's raw, honest, completely unscripted. And for once, Gumball drops the jokes, the sarcasm, the overthinking. He speaks from the heart. And that's the thing we often get wrong about love, especially when we're young. We think we need to be impressive or perfect or poetic. But the truth? What people remember most is when you're real. Gumball's confession hits not because it's perfect, but because it's vulnerable. He's shaking. He's scared. But he says it anyway. And that's what makes it so impactful. Because love isn't measured in grand gestures or movie lines. It's measured in those terrifying, honest seconds where you say, "This is how I feel, and I don't know what happens next." That's not weakness. That's strength. And for everyone watching, especially young viewers, that moment became a masterclass in emotional bravery. Sometimes saying "I love you" isn't the hardest part. When Gumball finally confesses, he doesn't know what will happen. But Penny, she doesn't laugh. She doesn't run. She opens up, literally and emotionally. She steps out of hiding. She accepts his feelings. And most importantly, she returns them. That moment isn't about fireworks. It's about safety. Because real love, it's not about grand drama. It's about being seen and still being loved. Gumball and Penny teach us that love isn't about having all the answers. It's about growing together. They fight, they mess up, but they always come back, stronger, more honest, more understanding. Their story teaches us that communication isn't always easy, but it's everything. And acceptance? It doesn't mean ignoring flaws. It means loving someone through them. Years after the Amazing World of Gumball ended, their relationship still resonates. Why? Because it captured something so rare, the messy, magical, terrifying beauty of young love. And no matter how old we get, we remember what it felt like to be scared, to be honest, to love for the first time. That first flutter in your chest, that first risk, that unforgettable moment of saying something real, even when your voice shakes. If this hit your heart, hit that like button. Drop a comment. What's your favorite Gumball and Penny moment? And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the emotions behind animation. Because sometimes the most powerful lessons come from a blue cat and a shape-shifting peanut.